Second. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, we can vote in Councilperson Hayes.
Aye.
Aye. A zoning fee increase, ordinance passes unanimously. Item C is appointments, Parks and Recreation Committee. Councilperson Hayes, second. Second, Councilperson Data. Questions, comments, or concerns? Councilperson Street.
Aye.
I have a quick question. Is that going to be back?
Right now they're kind of co-doing it, Dina and Smith for now.
Citing is updated contracts and agreements. And this is the updated, if they requested the town council at our last meeting after the annual evaluation. Yeah, contract extension. For a motion to approve. Motion to approve. Second, Councilperson Day. Questions, comments, or concerns?
Nothing changed, right? Since I thought something days looked different, but nothing changed since last conversation we had.
We extended permission at our council last week to work with Robert to extend the agreement, so we're completing team with Robert to extend the agreement as well as 5% increase.
But that's what we were doing on last.
Everything we talked about. Yeah. Yes.
I just didn't do the proper math thing.
You would give the job started at
Gotcha.
For any additional questions, Tom? And voting Councilperson Hayes.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, sir, and then Council. Yes. Next up is the Windermere Road Main Street roundabout Brandon.
Yes, this is great news. This is our approval. We want you to approve the state-funded grant agreement for this project this evening. This means that they are willing to start giving us the funding and we can move a step closer to actually going into full design and constructing of this project. We did have this contract reviewed by the town attorney's office. They were good with the contract. They noted, which we also noted, is it's a tight time frame for the design. So once we get done with this, we're going to go ahead and issue a work authorization to Kimley Horn to begin work on this project. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Which is over, once we have design, we'll probably have to wait till we have design to have another time on it.
Yes, sir.
People always ask that question. That's what they always.
Well, you know, the difficult part for us in these grant projects is we can tell you what a typical design and construction would be in the market. The problem is when we're waiting for the state funded agencies to come back and forth with us, that's where the problem lies. So it gets more difficult to pinpoint.
It's not.
Right.
I thought that's getting.
Yeah.
We will all be happy. Sure.
Yes.
Council, I'm looking for a motion to approve Windermere Road Main roundabout. State of Florida. Fair motion to approve. Motion to approve. Second, Williams. Yes, sir. Let's check.
Voice getting deeper.
Thumbs out and higher. Any additional questions, comments, or concerns?
Just real quick, this is gonna be just out of ignorance. So it's gonna be a town $1.5 million grant and the town's gonna put on 1.7 the rest of it. The way it works.
The balance is over the state appropriation. That would be the town's responsibility. I'm working on the budget right now. And with a delta of about maybe $250,000 to $300,000, we'll be able to utilize reserves or to, supplement those funds through the next fiscal year.
So it looks like it could be 2 years of completion for it to start like ASAP, right?
Yeah, with the grant agreements that we enter into with FDOT, it's as long as the funds are committed
Right.
by a certain time frame, then you're fine.
So we go out of town, it's gonna pay 1%. If it stays, this is.
We'll pay the delta of like 2 point, or sorry,
The difference.
yeah, 200 something $1,000.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that, now, I'm sure, I'm in favor.
Well, let's make that a vote and we'll begin with you, sir.
Aye.
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 Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Next up, our other items for consideration are town square planning event.
Yes, sir. As we've seen with the town square, we did a charrette, I would say in 2011, 2012. It was very outdated, and with all the stuff that's been going on, especially with the events and stuff that we have in the town square. We thought it'd be prudent to actually retain the services of way trend to make sure that we have public input, long range planning. It does say parks and recreation in there, but I think long range planning would be the most appropriate community to review this. But to make sure that we have a plan to go in the future of what may or may not be developed in the town square itself. And that would be from 5th to 6th, the forest to Main.
Sounds good. Any additional questions or concerns? And it's gonna be, so long range planning is gonna take lead on this.
They'll make a recommendation.
Kimberly Moore will take, the Kimberly Moore to the future.
No, it's way trend,
Right.
so
Okay, so Wade Trend is going to gather some information, are they gonna run the charrettes, or how that?
yeah. Typically, what you do for a charrette is you get as much information as you can prior to having the charrette, which is the public workshop. So you get the surveys, the tree surveys, the history, and then when people walk into the open forum, you ask them, okay, what would you like to see in the town square? What don't you like in the town square? And gather all the input and then present it to town council.
Council, for a motion to approve. Motion approved, motion approved, Councilperson Data, second,
Second.
Councilperson David. Any additional questions? Seeing none, we'll begin with Councilperson Dees.
Aye.
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 Aye. Item 1, town square planning charrette. Next up is the Rotary payment.
Yes, sir. I mean, this is something that's been going on for several months now since we've received the letters from both the foundation and also Rotary Inc. I know there's still some questions of the outstanding invoices from McCree, Hunter Brady. So staff would probably recommend that we just go ahead and have a town council liaison, and then with Rotary Inc., they have a liaison as well to negotiate anything that is outstanding from this point on for the McCree invoices in the very back of the agenda packet.
Council, any additional questions on this?
Just so the $95,000 and it's partial payment for the this or the design services, over for Rotary, the demolition of the this facility, back restrooms, any expenditures that gone to date. There is some outstanding items on that final invoice that do need to be worked out, so it's
Correct, there's some additional invoicing, but I believe that our feeling that those other items are not fully substantiated.
so
I believe that council probably take you up on that. Council, see no objections. That would be fine. Get your service on that. At this point, I think our thinking is that we would like to take care of what we do have documentation and substantiation for, get it on the books for this year. That'll help us in the budgeting process for next year. Get us, in front of this last chapter on this particular project. Council, any additional questions? Any comments? Council, move for a motion to approve this item at $85,621.
Mayor, make a motion to approve 95,000. He was and so.
That would be a second. Second. Council, any further questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, we can go to Councilperson Stewart.
Aye.
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 Aye. That item passes unanimously as well. Councilperson Dowd, thank you for your service on this item. Council, any liaison reports for the public or staff?
Parks and Recs. Environmental use is, coming up October 5th. And so for that, I think they decided, I'm not sure, but, they went into a, event for, Windermere registered sports. They talked about July, they're only going to go to commercial session, so they wanted to do a big event to name, the sports after that. And then, Halloween, we have they had postponed that press for 2025 because they decided they're gonna put it off and not do it next year. And see how that goes. And then Christine, who we just voted. Strategic planning, Parks and Recs are going through the strategic planning. So when the first one's set for June 27th, and then the next one July. Forward to that because they've also worked on their budget and also have a 5-year plan that's going to help push that out. So excited about the new groups coming in that they're bringing in and the new leadership.
So they're not looking at this, is it due to the size of the event or due to the turnover and changes that you guys have had?
The size of the event and for the size of the event, the money that comes in and not. It's a lot of work on volunteer manpower.
Yeah, it's not really.
It actually is not really. So. It might be a good postpone for a year. There are talks about maybe running some of the back end people like
Yeah, always was able.
so there are talks to skip that.
Get that on.
Get that going.
Got put off, which I think was good.
Yeah, all that. So, I think it's a good thing. I'm really excited. Thank you, Tanya, for all your work getting us to do that planning session.
Thanks for the update.
Historic Preservation Board did not have a meeting, although we got together yesterday. Go over the Windermere Historic Property, division assessment for the schoolhouse, California building. So they're going to continue then use this to the California works to maintain those structures at the historic landmarks in the past. Okay, so you're going to present this to the Russell Council as well. Okay. Stand by.
From you, Councilperson.
No, staff is on hiatus, summer break is over. Chain of Lakes Butler Advisory Board, I'm saying that order is on. And that's next Monday, so it hasn't met yet. People have not met yet either.
You do meet with those guys for Chain of Lakes. We can confirm that the new buoys they installed are not. Yes.
Okay, and like that one?
Yeah, by the island, so. Say it differently, they are moving, are they supposed to be?
It's soon, I will check.
Yeah. Just a.
There are people around.
Yeah. I don't know how they're mounted, but I'm sure.
I do know they did say at the last meeting, and I don't exactly when that was from the last council meeting that effective, this May 1st, they were gonna be able to start ticketing people for being in the swim zone, but they didn't have that information, that's about last meeting, so that'll be the next.
And absolutely, we appreciate everything that's been done to date. It's really made a tremendous difference. The changes that we've been able to make, the changes that they have made, it's a better safe place, but I certainly.
You know,
It's not ever going to appreciate it.
Yes.
Let's say the wind links dropping, the buoy should be on the side driver's side.
Yeah, it's hard to say. So, yeah, went way down now, sort of. Up to you guys. Staff reports.
Nothing for me except the fact that we're working on the budget for the next 2 weeks, so we'll set up the budget workshop dates in July and August, and then the 2 hearings in September.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So as you indicated, it's coming into storm season. So we've been doing some prep here in Public Works. We've cleared drain structures with in-house Public Works crew, as well as our contractor Horizon Land Management's been clearing out the structures themselves. Street sweeping was in here last week. Road work, we're continuing to groom the roads, getting ready for all that, making sure the water's being directed in the right places. Cleared the tops of the grates and the swales, roads, and retention areas. We did the pre-authorization for the town's debris disposal site for storm season with FDEP.
They're gonna be.
Yes, sir. And then we're drafting the disaster readiness assessment, which is a requirement this year for public assistance. So I began filling out that document this week. Attended and received a certificate for G402, which is the NIMS for senior officials. So now staff has that. Strategic planning sessions, as we mentioned, both Tree Board and Historic Preservation Board finished both of their sessions. So the next step for them is to come to Town Council at some point and present to you their strategic plans, which they are very excited to do. So we'll be working with the town manager to get that scheduled. We've had many down tree limbs due to the conditions of the rain and the winds. We're clearing those as we go. PD's also requested that we trim the trees and bushes under the power lines along Park. That's becoming an issue for them coming out of the side streets. So that work will be done on June 24th through our contracted provider. Just wanted to let everybody know about that. We've added irrigation to the new soccer area. 5th and Main Street route broke here the other week, and it was a mainline irrigation break. So our team spent a couple of days making those repairs because they wanted to be very careful with the tree roots while they were making that repair. We've added irrigation at the tennis courts because we added new trees there. Windermere Recreation, we had to re-weld the gate entrance there on the shield plate because that keeps getting broken by people who are wanting to access the tennis courts that don't have keys. We've added the riprap now at Lake Street Park and the Lake Down boat ramp, so that is in. We've also sodded that area where that sidewalk was, so people can now walk in that area until such time as we do the permanent fix over there. We've installed the permanent signage at 9th and Oakdale Diverter. We have ordered and reinstalled market lights back here behind Town Hall because one of the tree limbs took that out last week. We've also worked with Duke Energy to address the strobing light effect that was happening in downtown, and they assured me yesterday, that they have fixed it. I'd like to thank Councilman Williams for sending me an actual video of the rather scary looking strobing lights.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's the second time that they have fixed that. We've marked sidewalks at the Manors, the Willows, and Windermere Reserve with the town's sidewalk contractor. We're expecting a cost estimate back from them this week so that we can schedule the work and finish sidewalk repairs before summer is out. In addition, Duke Energy continues to promise that they're going to be repairing the sidewalks along Main Street from Bayshore up into town. So we're continuing to work with them on that. They keep telling us their contractor is coming. All administrative facilities here at the town administrative complex were pressure washed last week. We've cleared all the gutters around the town hall administrative facilities. We received the historic structures estimate from KMF Architects. We did a workshop with HPB yesterday just to review that with them. At their next scheduled meeting, they will be looking at the list of repairs and working on prioritizing that so we can then bring something forward to town council for you all with a tentative schedule on that. Cal Palmer and Town Hall will be pressure washed on June 24th. Now that we've found out that it's okay for us to pressure wash those facilities, we're gonna get after that. Town Hall, weather permitting, will be painted. Town Hall ramp will be painted next week, weather permitting, so it'll be ready for the July 4th weekend. And then the Cal Palmer AC got replaced after the wine and dine event, and I'm finally done. Thank you. Yes, well.
We have a scheduled date, I believe we approved the PCI, so we have a scheduled date for that. The payment condition, we approved that.
No, you have not approved the pavement condition rating report yet, because what we're doing with some of the pavement funding is looking at some of these projects, roundabout projects and things like that, we'll be putting the paving money into. So what we want to do is work with the town manager on the budget and what from that will fund that. And then we'll come back to you with a pavement condition report and years that go out from these projects that we need to fund.
We have all the data, once we have all the data.
We have all the data. Yes, sir. And we're at a fairly high PCR actually. And with West Second Avenue getting done, it
Yeah,
will really get a lot higher.
sounds good. Just want to make sure we had it before the season.
We do, yes.
It helps. Thank you very much. Thanks, hard work.
Thank you, thank you. It's very noticeable. I do watch guys, you guys out there constantly and stuff. And I appreciate it. Maybe won't have.
I'm sure they appreciate it.
Is there anything else we need to do as a council to make that move forward from sidewalk from Main to Lake? 6th and Lake, or is that something on the place?
No, I don't think so. Actually, we've had movement from Duke Energy. It's just they also contract their sidewalk repair work out. And so they struggle with the same issues that we do of getting their contractor here and getting them scheduled. And it's like, oh, yes, he's coming. And then no, they got sent somewhere else or rain delayed them and now they're delayed. So we hope that eventually they will get to that. And I'll check with them tomorrow and see what's up with that.
I guess what I'm talking about is the extension of the sidewalk. Same thing. Same sidewalk all the way from, yeah, the same thing.
Oh, you want to handle that?
Sure. We met with Community Home Associates 2 weeks ago to discuss the extension of the sidewalk on 6th Avenue. I believe it's to Magnolia. The plans have to be revamped a little bit based on the tree survey that was done quite a bit ago. But once we get the costs and more finalized design, we'll bring back 10 pencil.
Thank you. Thanks, Robert. Council Reynolds. Any new?
I kind of have some good news. I thought it would take a few minutes to go over with you what I sent you yesterday, that injunction, if you like. I thought it was incredibly interesting. I pulled out the highlights, and as you know, you do not have to file Form 6. The judge has completely said that the state cannot enforce the new law at all whatsoever for any of the folks throughout the whole entire state of Florida, whether they were a plaintiff in the lawsuit or not. So the court went through in the injunction, they went through the history of the financial disclosure requirements. In 1976, the Florida Constitution was amended to require only certain public officials and candidates to file full and public disclosure of the financial interests. Since 1970, the Florida Commission on Ethics has been requiring certain individuals to file Form 6. Not all of them, just certain individuals. And during the 2023 session, how we got here, the Florida legislature passed and the governor later signed into law Senate Bill 774, which applies to mayors and all of you and other elected members of the governing bodies of municipalities throughout the state of Florida, requires you to file Form 6 by July 1st. So before that law was passed in 2023, it was considered by 2 Senate committees. The analysis from the Senate committees did not include any data or evidence suggesting that any of the committee members had investigated, studied, or solicited reports on the need for municipal elected officials to comply with the more comprehensive requirements of Form 6. That was one of the findings of the judge. The House of Representatives considered the new law by 3 committees, and their analysis in all of those committees was devoid of reasoning and lacked data on the need, reasoning, or justification for the change in the disclosure requirements. The bill sponsor himself, Senator Broder, stated in a committee meeting, in municipalities where there are 5 folks who decide millions of dollars in budgets, it's probably better for the public to have full financial transparency. A committee member asked the senator what prompted the change, and the senator responded that the more detailed financial disclosure requirements had been requested by the Commission on Ethics for many years, but he had nothing to back that up either. Senator Broder also reiterated that in municipalities, few individuals make multi-million-dollar decisions, and that voters in turn deserve to know when there would be some kind of collusion and or some kind of improper incentive. When asked if he felt that the Form 6 disclosure requirements could deter individuals from running, Senator Broder responded that they could, but if you have somebody who's not willing to make that available, do you really want them in public office? So a committee member then asked Senator Broder if he would consider amending the bill to exempt officials from towns with populations under certain amounts. He responded he would not because of the need for transparency at any level of state and local government. When asked about the bill's potentially chilling effect for discouraging people from running, the senator responded that the Commission on Ethics had been working on the measure for a long time, and that he again opined the law would not discourage people from running. He did not offer any data or studies to support his opinion. So after all of that, after the committee meetings, the Senate bill passed the Florida Senate by a vote of 35-5, and it passed the House by a vote of 113-2. So it was signed by the governor on May 11th, 2023. And between the time it was signed by the governor and when it became effective, January 1st, 2024, approximately 125 municipal elected officials had already resigned. So the complaint that was filed to challenge the lawsuit had more than 170 plaintiffs, including a majority of the town council members in it. The plaintiffs challenged on the grounds, they were First Amendment grounds, saying that completing Form 6 financial disclosure is a government-compelled content-based speech that infringes on their rights to free speech under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. I think some of the interesting things that I want to point out to you that the plaintiff said, this was the attorney for all the cities, pointed out that the government was obligated to consider less intrusive alternatives, and that the state had failed to demonstrate any relationships between what they had identified for protecting of the abuse of public trust and the change for more need of financial disclosure. The plaintiff's point, or the attorney pointed to the record referred to by the defendants as the steady upward trend in the number of ethics complaints, and contends that the record actually reveals, so the defendant said the record reveals that in the 5 years prior to the Senate bill's enactment, the total number of complaints in the same range each year, and the number of complaints against municipal elected officials in 2022 was actually less than what had happened in the prior 4 years. So it's really hard to obtain a preliminary injunction, but the court went ahead and issued it. They have to get an injunction, there has to be a substantial likelihood of success on the merits. There has to be irreparable injury that will be suffered if the relief is not granted. There has to be threatened injury outweighing the harm that the relief will inflict on the non-movement, and the entry of the relief has to serve the public interest. And like I said, it's very, very hard to get an injunctive relief, but the court did order it yesterday. And a new statement came out from the Florida Commission on Ethics today that they are working on as quickly as possible, reprogramming the system to populate the Form 1 into all of the elected officials, the dashboard. So you should have that soon. Hopefully you haven't filed Form 6 yet. Anyway, yeah, okay, so that should be out pretty soon. But I really enjoyed reading the injunctive relief, the whole brief, and I can answer any questions if you have it.
Can't say that I'm glad we participated. That is our right in the law to do that. Especially considering where that came from.
I do have a question.
Better close to me because my wife is in panic mode.
Well, I do have a question, because the Commission of Ethics has sent out the electronic, and everybody has to file before July 1st. So when they get their notifications via email, what do? Not file?
So today, the Commission on Ethics put up a whole new, and as a matter of fact, they said they were emailing all of the city clerks
Okay.
and town clerks, And so I don't know if you've gotten that yet, but it's a whole, it's like a little sheet that says what's supposed to be done for qualifying for all of those things. So
Okay,
hopefully everything will be addressed, but, because what we were thinking was that you would just file the paper form. But it doesn't look like any, but no, and I don't think any of them are going to be taken by the local offices here.
yeah, there is no paper form, everything has to be electronic, so.
You can go into the website. Area, and pull up different form, I filed in form 1. By pulling it down, filling it out.
Okay.
So.
Well, then that's recommended.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend that everybody fills out on one, then saves up.
Yes, yeah, you have to fill it out. It was just a matter of whether it's gonna be, whether there's gonna be any issues with the electronic filing.
It came out and said it's not filing the appropriate form.
Okay. Okay, I'm good with that.
All right, thank you for the update.
Well, congratulations.
I don't have much, just, we're on the final background stages of, hiring our last open position, so hopefully we should have that done here pretty soon, and then we'll be fully staffed again. So it's good news for that, and I don't have anything, it's been very quiet on our side. Public Works has been doing all the work.
I'll make it there in the load for sure.
July 5th, I'll have Ms. Swimming. A little bit, but running. Yeah. I'm ready. Good. I'm excited.
Congratulations.
And don't let Jason fool you. We get a lot of help from the PD department. We appreciate that.
Purple, there anything from your end of the meeting?
We just discussed it. And watch out for those emails coming in. They make a little spam folders, so just. Yeah, I tried to forward what I received, so it came from me to make sure that you want to spam folders, so just make sure.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of goes to say, whatever you guys get, emails you always with it. If nobody from the staff is copied on it, it's a difficult to the public record, which is an important part of transparency. So always just forward it. You don't have to comment on it, just forward it. Right. Right. Anything else for the good of the order?
Oh, just one point, Mayor. I just want for the rest of the.
I'm on the fence, but they probably can't. I'm gonna give you.
Three, unless we're doing any zoning here. Requires.
I suggest we do July hiatus.
Nothing right now. Not, I mean, nothing that's gonna be very controversial because the annexation will probably be in August. So if you want to post on the July meeting, I think the resolution.
Yeah, actually, the quicker, if you decide not to have a meeting, the quicker you can post, I would think, on the website, a couple different places. I don't even know that you need a resolution, just.
July.
If we feel that there's nothing incredibly pressing, and if something does come up that's incredibly pressing, we'll have a special call. That I have no objection to that. So agrees.
Yeah.
You vote for that? Sorry,
Yeah, let's do the motion. I think we don't need the resolution. Yeah,
So motion not to have our July council meeting.
and just we'll publish it and post it as much places as possible. Yes.
motion maker is Councilperson Haynes, second Councilperson David, any questions or comments? See none. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right, thanks all guys. And with that, we will adjourn our regularly scheduled town council meeting at 6:39 p.m. Thank you.